Wait, sleepover invitation. No, I snuck in here.
Ew, there's a boy at our sleepover!
Welcome to Gabbin with the Gals. You know who's here, your normal sleepover sluts. What? It was the alliteration.
I thought you were going to call us normal sluts.
You guys don't want to be sleepover sluts? You could be sleepover slugs.
Put your water bottle.
It's not about what you want.
Sleepover slugs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See that
We're all
TikTok
little
that was like how to trick a slug, and it was one of the fake slides.
No, I think we've established tonight that your For You page is insane.
We are not on the same page as you.
Anytime
Tonight, Lily has also brought y'all know about Fish Hat?
And then
Yeah.
said we weren't on the same TikTok as her.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know Fish Hat.
Yeah.
Oh, cat's out of the bag. Jared's here.
Oh, yeah. Cat's out of the bag. Once again, get that cat back in that bag. Put that cat back in that bag. Put that cat back in that bag.
Join the person joining your normal sleepover sluts today is
Whoa.
an irregular, wacky.
Criminal.
Felon.
Felon.
I was going to say
No,
wombat.
it's not.
Not felon.
I was gonna say
specifically did not take that much to be a felon. We don't have to continue talking about that.
You brought it up.
I know. Anyway,
Somebody who's been actively taking steps to not become a felon. Jared Boswick.
but never mind. Keep going.
I bet you're wondering why Jared's here. We're doing an end of year recap of 2024.
Crazy year.
Recap.
And, you know, we might start a little bit on topic of gals and goblins, and then we might go off the rails based on what I've written here.
Let's hear it.
Somebody might cry.
No.
Me.
What is your favorite episode moment from the year of any episodes? And let me tell you, the first episode of the year was study break number 25, Kit playing Grab Dash, and I'm pretty sure it's like Grab Ass.
Okay, so that gave us so much info. What's the last main episode that happened?
The last, wait, no.
What's the main
What's
episode?
the first main episode of the year?
Well, yeah.
Blackout in gym class.
Okay, so that was when Pork
Penelope.
Chop. That was who? That was when Pork Chop came.
That's when we met
Oh yeah,
Her name is Penelope.
that's true.
that's when we met the Rushgars.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is true.
Sparring mats and labyrinths are the perfect places for the gals to get back at the mean girls taking shots at them, but a mysterious visitor during a blackout match might be more than they can handle.
That's great copy.
Is-
Who wrote that?
Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
Is
Jared writes them now, and they're kind of better than when I wrote them. So.
is Little Branch the only like trip that we had taken before? Had we gone to Cato yet?
We
We
went to
haven't,
Cato
'cause-
after because we re-encountered.
You're right, because y'all
Penelope.
learned that.
Yeah, because Cato is like Cato happened in March of this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that moment was insane.
Well, my favorite moment of the year was Esta exploding.
That was a good
It
moment.
was a good
that whole
moment.
episode is like probably my favorite episode of the whole final Kato episode is my favorite.
Yeah. I really liked the pork chop kind of like reveal moment where Beans got really sad. That moment that all of you get in the Discord and you go, "What the fuck, guys?"
Hey, guys.
Every time someone hits that episode, we get like once a week. They're like, wait, what the hell?
Why am I crying at
Pork
work over
chop.
pork chop? And then my second one is when I put the straw in my armpit.
That was a. That
was pretty good.
insane.
That one really broke it all down.
That really got to the core of who we are, I think.
Yeah. Do they have to be main campaign?
No, they can be
No.
anything. They can be the goblin modes.
I talk about it so much, but I just loved the Twilight episodes so much. It's just us doing stupid bits and ribs, like for like the first 30 minutes. But I just love it. I love when we both said there's been a call down at the station. Which like is maybe not funny to anyone else, but like
It's just so ridiculous.
I love it, and I love when you play a character who's the dad, and I
really
love
good.
that whole goblin mode. I think it's so.
I don't know if we rolled a single dice. Like I think it was truly it was
Or if
true
we did,
improv.
We only rolled like at the end of the scenes to like see if we survived or like
we were like,
yeah.
I guess we have to roll.
Yeah.
I know you already said this moment, but I love when Beans and Sawyer were trying to get the briars off of pork chop. It's so good. I think the imagery was just like, oh, it's just so good. And I'm sure there's a ton more I'm forgetting. And the hole is happened in 2024.
The hole and snake pit were born this year.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
And
big.
so I'm really glad we invented the hole, and I'm really glad that Snake Pit. I mean, guys, I had no idea how Snake Pit would come alive.
Have you been keeping up on the snake discourse?
Snake
Yeah.
Discord is the one I like check the most.
Yeah, because, well, they learned to read.
Yeah.
They escaped the shrimp.
There was a worm in there today. Did you see
Oh,
that?
the
Yeah,
worm.
there was a
Worm showed up.
Well,
today.
I think Banjo tried to feed the snakes, but
Oh.
then they like accepted the like feeder animals as like
As
they're
one
not,
of
like
their own.
symbiotic.
I did see the shrimp got involved at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been the shrimp
Sorry.
What was that?
party foul.
Believe the correct response is bless you.
Not in my house.
Just kind of haven't seen that from you before, so I was a little shocked.
If you're listening to this and you're like, what are they talking about? What is Snake Pit and what is the Discord? Get in the Discord
And
We want
find
you-
out.
We want you there, and it's a party. And if you're intimidated, don't be. It's
And
not
you won't
scary.
get any more answers about the snake pit, unfortunately.
Yeah, moving
but
on.
but you can.
Next.
Okay. No, Jared didn't go.
Jared didn't say it. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, what the hell?
We're not used to you at the sleepover.
Should've blessed me.
It's fair. What? No, neither of them did.
Favorite moment.
Ooh, I think I'm between two of them, and I think because they were some of the most genuine reactions, other than the pork chop reveal, was the Priscilla Ruidon reveal,
Yes.
or the y'all sending Levi to his imprisonment. That was
Highlight of the year.
just like
Bummer, like kind of buzzer
Highlight-
moment of the year.
highlight of the year because one, the Discord definitely sees it the way I see it, and two is like that was the most, I think, like quote unquote controversial moment that we've had.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think it'll be fun. So
Another highlight when we snuck into Lord Arathis' room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
For a whole episode.
It was like so funny. It was like, why did we do that for no reason?
was that last year?
No, that was
that
this
was
year.
Was this year?
I think it's like it's the
like when
second episode of this
Really?
of this
When we
year.
come back from Cato, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I think it's before. It's before we go to Cato. It's like right after combat class. Jared's like, "What do you want to do next?" And we go, "But we got to get in there."
We gotta get in there.
And then I got in there, was stealthing incredibly, and then nothing came of it.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
We got the disguise.
That's true.
And we're going to use it. It's
You
going to
keep
come
saying
in so
that.
handy.
yeah, the frozen toe ball. We've only been sitting on it for a year.
Don't say that. We'll use it. Okay, next.
What's your biggest G&G flunk of the year? Which,
Oh.
great segue, I would say very recent. It's the fact that I didn't fight the Levi decision harder,
Yeah.
and somebody in the Discord.
What?
Sorry,
You're a freak. What the
I was
hell?
thinking of sourdough discard.
Which I call.
Always on our mind.
No,
Never mind.
you can't say it.
Aw.
Share with the class.
Discharge.
Oh.
See,
You asked.
see, it wasn't
You
fun,
asked.
was it? And I don't like it when he says it
You
either.
asked.
In the Discord, somebody like dropped the quote of like, well, if you're not fighting the system, then you're like a part of it. And I said,
Yeah.
fuck, I know you're
Yeah.
right. I'm
We
sorry.
know you're right, but
Yeah.
Oh, and they weren't like fuck you guys.
Yeah.
They were just like,
They were like, we love hearing y'all's point of view.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. And they were like,
one of our most interesting decisions of like, it's a very like real world issue that everyone grapples with. So it's cool to like
yeah.
see what
But my flunk is that I didn't fight it harder for like a better like character like tension moment between us. You know, like it's not even like that I care that was the decision that was made in the end. I care that I was like, I feel like Beans would have like argued more.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that I like wanted the outcome to change, but like
Yeah. I mean, it was also the end of a long episode and it was draining.
that's no excuse. I should always be ready to argue.
It's so hard to think about a flunk. It's like way easier to think about all the stuff that I love, all the wonderful things we did this year.
Because you're a lover.
I know.
You're a lover, not a hater like some of us.
Wow. But they're talking about me.
Oh, you're a hater too.
Yeah.
Are you a hater at your core?
I at my core is a good question. I don't think that I'm a hater at my core. However, on the layer just outside my core, 100%.
You can have a lot because I'm a lover at my very core, but then that's surrounded by like a pretty like substantial hater layer, and then that's surrounded by like a thin lover layer.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Lover,
know.
lover, hater, lover.
If you get to know me a little, but lover. If you meet me once, wow, she's so nice. Then if you get to know me, you'll be like, whoa, hater, full of vengeance. Except I've recently renounced my vengeful era and I'm in my forgiveness era, if you didn't know. That happened like a few weeks. That was like pretty recent, like a few weeks ago.
Catch up.
But then when you get deeper to the very core, lover, back to lover. Because it's so much harder to be a lover, and that's what the hate is protecting.
Yeah.
It's true.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like it's protecting the core from life.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't
Sorry,
know.
my flunks.
Flunks.
Welcome to the sleepover.
Welcome to the sleepover, where we talk about the layers of our internal earths.
And flunks.
We're talking about crust. We're talking about mantle.
And magma.
Shout out magma. Sorry.
Looking back, I think a flunk might be not fighting Bailey and Browini on the election, like letting them take it. Just because I thought at the time the stakes seemed really high, which is like, great job, Jared, for making us feel like, oh shit, oh my god. But it is like, there haven't been that many consequences about it yet. So I'm kind of like, well, what if we had just
I'm sure there will
let the
be.
fair election happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And told everyone what they did.
Yeah.
I would go off of that, like what you just said about the consequences stuff. And I think kind of an overall flunk would be doing a thing that I think is similar to whenever you are given an item and you want to save it for the right moment. I think I've been saving consequences for the right moment. And I think we should be approaching a moment incredibly soon where consequences will happen. But I feel as though I've said that a couple times of like, oh yeah, like y'all will face consequences soon.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the consequences of like Kato were like intense, but then like the end of the Mount Adula arc was intense, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It didn't feel as like insane grandeur as
I wanted Beans to like try to kill us.
Yeah.
Whenever we were trying to get the Briars off, like I wish that Beans had like literally like been taken over and tried to kill.
Which I think also ties into like my F of like not managing the pacing as well as I had hoped and rushing the end of the year. And because it's like, oh, like I wanted to get to the Frozen 12 ball at the end of the year. So that those episodes like 46, 7, 8, 9, maybe mainly, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just kind of all like, all right, like we gotta get moving. And whereas those would probably have been like, those are 4 episodes. I think if they probably would have been moved to more like 7 episodes.
Interesting.
And so I think in the future, I'm gonna let it ride out, and I'm not gonna rush it. No matter what.
I love the vision of the future. Mine is ironically, is the moment that I said was one of my A+, which is the Briar moment when Beans gets the Briars on him. Beans is trying to get the Briars off of Porkchop. Sawyer's trying to get the Briars off of Beans. And in that moment, Sawyer makes a big decision of Beans is like, he's like, come with us or something. I don't know. I can't remember the exact, but Sawyer has to make a decision to go with Beans, not knowing what the Briars are gonna do and seeing what Porkchop has become. And it's like, it was this scary moment of like, this is what Beans is gonna turn into. And so in my head, like the moment is this like great moment of like Sawyer like trying to like help anyway. But I wish that I had ruined the moment. I wish that I had done something terrible. And I wish that I had really said something awful to Beans about being a monster, but on accident.
Yeah.
I wish that Sawyer had sort of let it slip. Not saying that about Beans, but saying that about Porkchop, which is the thing that Beans was on his way to becoming. I don't know. I dwell on this. This keeps me up at night. I just think it would have been such a great moment for Sawyer to say something about Porkchop, like, no, we can't trust him, like he's a monster, like something about that, as Beans has just gotten the Briars. And then this moment of like, oh, wait, but like, I didn't mean it like that, or like, wait, I didn't mean you.
Or even like
oh, that's so like, that's
but
so
I think
juicy.
that speaks to like, we're not writing these characters. You know,
hey,
it's like
improv.
these are improv. These are decisions that we're making early in the moment, and we're not thinking about like the huge picture of the story.
And also
at any moment.
I would say like I think that would be out of character for Sawyer, as I think that Sawyer is a very like Naruto-esque, even though like Esta is kind of our Naruto.
We're all Naruto.
We're all-
You're all, yeah, well, yeah. And in different ways, you are all Naruto. But
Jared's slowly making us all Naruto.
maybe Sawyer.
Naruto.
I would honestly, actually,
I think we're all Naruto.
actually, I'm wrong. Sawyer isn't Naruto. Sawyer is more Goku in the fact that
Oh shit!
Goku is like more dumb to like the darkness, where Naruto like knows about the darkness and like actively fights, and like Sawyer does, but the good thing about Goku is that it's like he doesn't really, at least like the young Goku, like Son Goku, he is more of just like sees the light in the world constantly, and it is more of just and when something is evil. But if like your friend is good, or like your friend's brother loves each other, then it's like, oh well, like then that's a good guy, and like we need to save him. Like it's as simple as that. And so I think that like Sawyer is saying like, oh, like he's evil monster while Beans is having the moment, or like even like running across that, I think would have been like a little out of character for Sawyer.
Maybe so. I don't know. Yeah. And she wouldn't have meant it. I think it just would have been like out of fear.
Yeah.
And then it's that thing of like you let it slip and then immediately you're like, it's happened to everyone in real life.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait.
You hear what it means as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
Or it could have even been like you said it and like didn't, you don't even like internalize that like what you've just said also affects Beans, and then later down the line somebody could bring it up.
Yeah, most of my flunks are to do with like I wish I had done like the wrong thing. I'm doing air quotes for the podcast listeners. Like sometimes I wish that I would like, I don't know, just do the wrong thing or the bad thing, or like not be so much of a perfectionist, I guess, in my gameplay.
Yeah.
So yeah. But as always, the flunk is just a little something to work on.
Which
hey, this is not scripted. You know what I mean? Like we don't have time to say, oh, here's the character arc. We don't know what it's gonna be.
we don't have to be like pause.
Yeah, we're not
What are we gonna do?
storyboarding this out.
What classic anime character is Beans then? If we got Naruto, Goku,
And
don't say somebody stupid.
here's the thing. He's
gonna say Lloyd from Ninjago. Actually, that like is not like the
fuck.
Sorry, Lloyd from Ninjago.
Okay, so I said
Don't
classic anime.
Don't even try.
Ninjago's like classic anime.
Has Ninjago ever been part of the big three?
It is to be.
Yeah.
That's fine if you don't have an answer, I guess.
Well,
Beans is so unique.
Doubt it.
No, there's an anime character for essentially everything.
Somebody in the comments will have an answer.
Yeah. Hey, you get in the comments and
Anime lovers.
you do what Jared can't.
Wow.
And I think like from like a real like honest answer to that, it's been hard coming up with like storylines that affect Beans, because like Beans is from a literal another plane.
He's from this plane.
And any characters that Beans would know or associated with would, I think, be for me, it's hard to place characters into the current storyline. However, we're getting there, like very soon. I'm telling you, we're getting
like
there
2 days from now.
like, pretty close. And so I haven't had a thing that I have really referenced for Beans, which I think is also why it's been hard for me to come up with scenarios for Beans. Whereas like for Esta, like I had that idea whenever we first played and we weren't recording. I was like, ooh, like that's some Naruto shit. And then, I mean, for Sawyer, I haven't always had like the Goku thing, but it is Naruto-esque, and now I'm like, oh, like it is kind of Goku, that like just bright optimism that is like, I see the light in the world first. But for Beans, I've been like I had an idea the other day for one, but I cannot think of it right now. I might have written it down somewhere. But I do take most of my best stuff that I think I do is the best from hard influence from other things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll expect an answer soon.
You're freaking Okarun from Dan to Dan.
That doesn't count.
I know.
No,
you're
I'm
not. I was just giving you an answer.
Next.
Oh, how has your character grown or evolved like over this year of episodes? And
I don't have a character.
I knew you were gonna
You
say
have a million billion.
Jared, how has your DMing style grown and evolved?
DMing style. Y'all answer first.
I feel like Sawyer's like lost a lot of her faith in Frogmont. I mean, what was the beginning of the year? We were just getting back
Combat
from-
class.
We hadn't
Little
even gone
branch.
to Cato.
Yeah.
So like we didn't know about the Silver Crown. We didn't know about anything.
Y'all did know about the Silver Crown.
Before that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because y'all
'cause
learned about the Silver Crown
in
after the party, episode 15.
And in Little Branch, that's who like.
That's true. I guess
Oh
we
wait,
just hadn't
no.
seen them up
no.
close.
I'm thinking something.
I'm just saying that like Sawyer hadn't lost as much of her faith in like everything. Like she had gotten to Frogmont and been like, whoa, there's like a civil war happening among the students, but like didn't understand how high up it went.
Yeah.
So like I feel like this year has been like understanding a lot of like how high it like truly goes. And then like the stuff with Levi was really like, I don't know, like the final kicker of like, oh my God, I can't, like, not only am I disillusioned with Frogmont, this great academy that, like, I, you know, was so excited to go to my whole life and I built up as this huge thing. It's like, okay, well, that's out. But then also, like, we can't trust anyone. Like, you know what I mean? It's just that, like, thing of growing up of, like, there is no justice, which is, like, so depressing. So I guess like Sawyer's like realized that she's like lost her faith a little more. I know I always talk about like she's gonna go into her punk phase and like wear eyeliner or whatever, and like she's never actually had a good punk phase.
One day.
Maybe it'll happen one day.
I feel like that's
yeah.
so accurate for some like freshmen. It's like, well, I'm goth now.
I'm gonna go into my punk phase any day now,
and like
guys.
their parents won't let them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like they won't take him to the store to buy the eyeliner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You stole mom's eyeliner one day and you were like, yeah, I'm tough now.
Yeah, and like she's
Never
not gonna
again.
she's not gonna like throw her grades into rebellion because she wants to stay on the team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's like never actually.
she's like, well, I do want to get in a good college. So
Maybe that'll become the thing is that she always talks about having a punk phase and then she doesn't. Or maybe one day she'll actually go full punk and like I don't know like hit Miss Cookie with a bat or something.
holy shit.
Never do that.
Because punks assault their teachers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she'll physically fight Lord Arathis one day.
Well,
so.
well, I hope so.
That's really exciting.
I can't wait to kill him.
I don't even know if
What?
that counts as punk though.
He's a
That's
good
just the
guy.
right thing to do.
What do you mean, Lord
We should kill
Arathis?
him.
I think it could be fun.
Well, maybe I'm biased.
You know what? The Lord Arathis that lives in your head and your dreams can stay alive as long as you want.
No, he will.
Oh my
Which
god.
one of us do you think is gonna get the how do you do it for Lord Arathis? You know?
I won't kill. I'll spare his life. I'll say
So let's hope not. Oh, you're sending another person to prison.
Save the world and we're gonna reform the prison system. Duh. It's gonna be all about rehabilitation.
What
Well
happened?
done.
What happened to Sawyer says ACAB?
Sawyer does say ACAB.
She says it.
Yeah, she says it.
I said we're rehabilitating.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Sawyer posted a black
You think we can
square.
save the world and change the prison system?
I did it. My plug for last year was that I had this like idea too late that like Sawyer, like in the same way Samwise Gamgee is like obsessed with elves, like he's never seen one, and he's like, whoa, I can't believe like I wanted to do that for Sawyer. Like I can't believe you're really like she's gonna say like things that were like, kind of like weird. I can't believe you're an elf. Anyway.
I feel like I've let Esta. In some ways, like she's someone like commented like how goofy she is now compared to the beginning, and I was listening like for like making caption videos to some of the early episodes, and she's so like cautious and bitchy and judgy, but she really has become kind of a goofball, like very influenced by like her friends, which is really fun. And then I've let her be more like. She's gotten more like confident and reckless in some ways, but then she's also still like, you know, her character development isn't done, but like sending Levi to prison, like she still believes in some of the systems that she was like, I mean, she's been there for a semester, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like she's raised in a family that probably really upheld all of this.
Stormbreak.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's like she's from a wealthy.
yeah, so there's like all these systems that she still like does believe in because that's like her whole like life up to this point. So
Yeah.
but she has gotten like goofier and more reckless and confident and like I don't know. I just like you unlocking pins just to like one up another girl. Like
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
that.
great.
Yeah,
Oh, I
That's a
love
really
it.
good trackable Esta arc
Yeah.
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so high school.
It's so fun.
I know.
I
She's just
love
like
it.
she's just this like jealous, vain, like teenage girl, but like in a different way now. She's like it's like becoming something different. So it's been fun.
Yeah. I think this year, Beans has been like feeling kind of the stakes of like what has been like laid out in his life more. Like, I think when we like first met him in last year, it was like him trying to figure out who he was and like make a friend. Like, I feel like that was kind of like the bulk of where my decisions lied. And now it's like everything's falling into place. And he's like, oh, you know, like my family's really involved and this is getting like scary. And my siblings are trying to steal my friends' girlfriends or
what the hell?
love or acquaintances who like each other or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think he's feeling like, I definitely feel the weight of like the decisions I make are like a little bit more informed by all that in the background. And then also I think he's gotten more like stronger, and like I think there's a lot of times that Beans like will disagree with y'all, and I think he's getting stronger in like saying his reasoning and disagreeing without like it being friendship ending. And maybe that's not so high school. Maybe it would be more high school if it was like
friendship ending.
yeah.
I do wish we would fight more. It's like when we had that big fight on the Southern Wind.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish it had gone on for longer. I wish it had been more mature.
It's hard because it's like the game doesn't work. If we're all like the game of D&D really relies on all of us like
Working
sticking together and working
Yeah.
as a
It's
team.
like the
and,
improv thing of like yes and.
Yeah.
But also it is so fun to like have characters disagree and have them fight and have them and have it be messy.
I think we will have I was just thinking like all of like kind of the episodes of 2024, like all three of our characters, everything has been very much about like your family versus your friends and like the new things. Like it's been so like childhood questioning, like questioning everything you grew up with.
Yeah.
For like everybody.
Yeah.
Like all three of us.
And I think there's room for like internal party conflict as long as it's not like there has to be something. It's like, well, why are you together then? It's like the conflict, like when you meet in a tavern. It's like, well, then why do you all choose to go on the same like journey or campaign? Like now our characters have enough that it's like if Sawyer and Esther get in a fight about something, big picture, we still have to work together to to save the world and to handle the secrets that we know about. So like I do feel like going into the next arc, there is not that like we're gonna force it, but like there is room for that to have kind of that like messy disagreement, because it's like ultimately we do have the same goals, and then of course like eventually we are going to like come to an understanding, or you know, like something's gonna give. I think that I don't know. I think that could be fun.
Another one of my flunks for the year was the like cyclone moment where you were asking us like those kind of pointed like, what do you want? Why do you want it? Because it was like, oh shit. Like that was like, I wish I had done like revised character work before that, you know, because it was like, I think we talked about that in the study break afterwards. It was like
if we had known how to
shit.
But
So
you had
so
the
I
best
think
answer out of everyone. I thought Esther had the strongest answer out of.
Well,
out of
I feel like it was
everyone.
the most vulnerable
What I
answer.
want and like
What you want to do.
and what you want to do. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I was just asking fucking acting questions essentially.
Yeah, but it
would be a
was
character
like
study.
our characters have changed so much from like a year ago that it's working on those, which I want to do before Sunday.
Yeah. It felt like the first year was like
It's a good opportunity
kind
to
of,
start
you know,
next year.
kind of the tavern question, but it was like we were playing it out a little bit in real time with these characters of why they were deciding to be friends and what they liked about each other and how they work well together. And then like this felt like the year of like, once you figure out that, it's like now we can find out where we disagree and not worry about it. Like coming off as like disingenuous if like we really disagree on something, and it's like then you guys would just, you know, your trio would break up. It's like we don't have that anymore. We've been through
we
too
would
much.
not, like
So it's like so it's like now we have more like fun things to play with because we have enough history that like.
And we do have a character like with Levi and with all of Team One. Like we had characters who like we do not agree with their methods. And Sabina, it's like we have to work with them. Like we've already had that.
Yeah.
Like we're like following each other through the caves. Like we have to work with these people, and we're completely at odds. And that's what's interesting, is to see that those character dynamics and how like disagreeing characters operate when they have the same goal.
Yeah.
Or
That's
when
why
they
everyone's so obsessed
like
with Sabina.
Yeah.
yes,
So complicated.
Sabina's
So
like
interesting.
one of the number one NPCs of all time.
Yeah.
So good.
I can feel like when I play Beans and we get to like these more and more important parts, I can feel like such a strong like conflict brewing of like everything we've built up of like, because Beans is like, he's formed such a close bond with y'all. And like, this is also probably an Olivia thing. It's like, he would be willing to be like, oh, I go with you to save my friends. Done. Like he's willing to make those like split second, like whatever needs to like what's for the best of my group of friends is what happens. And it's like,
Yeah.
we're going to get into territory where like it might get dicey.
It's also like if Beans is like ends justify the means type of character. Like that's really, I think it's really interesting to see a character who believes that. And then it's like, okay, well, like what ends what means.
Yes.
You know,
And I do think he is.
It gets messy so fast.
Yeah. And I do think he is more kind of in that realm because he's always looking like, okay, well, this is the goal we want. Then we have to do
And this is the big picture good.
Yeah.
It's like that's such a like, I don't know, like dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has
In a
been
good way.
like a very like transition year. Like 2023, we started this podcast like so silly and lighthearted and
That's
cute.
what I was going to talk about.
And this
yeah.
like whole year has been like this like beautiful gradient of like, oh, we're still silly, and then like to this end, like the last couple episodes have been like, holy fuck.
Which I think,
And I think like 2025, like we're still funny, but it is like the stakes are crazy and the things that are happening are so much
We're
like.
so funny. We did the signs on the beetle.
Yeah,
we did the
it's
fart
always-
jokes.
We're always gonna like have that and be that.
We're
Like,
gonna
Yeah.
like stay farting.
and I well, and also I
we're
think
gonna fart in a cave.
the final episode of the year, which like we haven't put out yet at this point, is like I think we get like crazy silly in that one. I mean, like it's a long ass fucking episode, but like with like the fighting and the like getting ready for the frozen toe ball, like it gets really really silly again.
Yeah.
I forgot what you did to me.
Oh yeah.
Something amazing.
Something incredible.
It's
Jared, do you have
horrible.
an NPC who's had a big arc, or do you have yourself who?
Well, it was
Yeah.
like the DM style.
Yeah.
Which I was going to talk about. Well, first off, I was going to say it's like I don't know, like technically or mechanically what I've done changed planning wise. I was going to say though, like it definitely has gotten a lot more dark. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, do we want to go back to that? Like, the world is silly around y'all. But I do think that if I'm thinking of this story wise or like kind of building wise, the beginning was very like, how do these characters come together? Why do they come together? And like the energy that unites them and just like what that energy feels like. And then we go into the kind of like adversity of like, why do they stay together? And even when they face hardship, how do we bring them even closer together? And if I were to say what I think the next step in that is like, how do they react when like everything is like broken and like everything falls apart? Because like everything has been like ripping at the seams up until now, but now it's like we've definitely been building to a moment where like dominoes need to start falling and our heroes need to like overcome impossible odds that like it can't be like you get to the top of the mountain and it's like that's going to be hard, but we've got like us and like a crazy unkillable revenant in the power of friendship, which like I love power of friendship. This is definitely like a shonen in my eyes, but it's at the point now in the anime shonen series where it's like, all right, well now like the odds needs to be like more hopeless, but I don't want it to get like super dark. So, and I don't think it will. I think it needs to be, which I think y'all will bring the fun and y'all will bring the silliness, but I think the stakes need to get to a point where it's like the world is over or like we got to save it.
Yeah.
So.
I think we can do it without. I honestly think that's like a big like I don't want to say selling point, but it's just something so like cool about this podcast is like it's not getting like so like dark that it's like, oh, like this is like not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like we're keeping it light, but we are keeping it deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, case in point, to any time I try to have an intense moment on this podcast, there is a joke that cuts.
I feel so bad about
like
it.
opening.
Like,
do y'all remember opening the fucking door to the murder room where Kilga Rushgar was dead on the floor, and Bean said, "Oh, who farted?" Like what? And like I knew what was in there, and y'all didn't. And
How can you blame me for that?
I just remember
I
your
knew that-
face, like
I
as we kept interrupting, and you're like,
now I have to
I had
say
been
it.
building it up like to a point where it was like, hey, this isn't a joke, y'all. y'all. This ain't shit to play with. And then I thought I was doing a good job of like, hey y'all, this shit is real as fuck. And then Beans comes to cut the fucking tension with a fart joke. Well, also, or I think back to the Outer Wilds episode where like y'all find.
It's not our fault we went to the interloper as like our second planet.
That's true. Y'all found like the end of a civilization, like the apocalyptic event. And y'all like, what jokes were y'all making? I don't even know if y'all were talking about. Y'all were talking about something
We
else.
were shitting and farting, and then we were throwing up.
That's true. Yeah.
Is it
Do you remember?
always?
It was that joke where we were like, every time I piss, I fart.
Yeah, no, that is what it was.
We did that on the interloper.
And even just now, how we were talking about like really serious, like the arc of the entire podcast and where we've gone.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about shitting, pissing, and farting.
Sorry.
It's always shitty.
Whenever I actually played the game, like Outer Wilds, and I was on the interloper, I was like sobbing, crying. Like I was so like distraught.
Hey, we weren't there to
We didn't
recreate
know.
the game.
We didn't know.
But here's the thing. I think that's what they love about us, right?
True.
You can drop us in a serious world. It's just like us in real life. Like it's got to get pretty dark before we're not cracking jokes. And even then, after it gets dark in real life, it's like at least like 10 minutes until we're already cracking a joke. Not because we're not taking it
It's like-
seriously.
I'll be right back. I gotta go blow it up in there, and then goes to the bathroom in
Or
any
like-
situation.
And also that episode, it starts with y'all doing Grease Lightning for a doula.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Yeah.
That
So
was a
how?
really great moment.
So we started there.
That moment wasn't bad. That moment wasn't bad.
White dragon, go white
White dragon. I think so, and that's why I'm like not too worried about like it getting too dark.
Yeah.
And I think like what can y'all think of moments that were like dark that like we didn't cut the joke like tension? And I think it was like pork chop, kind of that whole Kato stuff was like we stayed in that energy for pretty much the whole time. But I think it was because like the stakes
Stuff
were
with Apple,
margy.
blood is all that I know.
That's true. We
Shout
didn't
out,
cut
blood
that.
is all that I know.
Wait, yeah,
Favorite
when
Gals and Goblins quote of all
was this
time.
what you just said on the ship back from Kato that it was like
The shit back from the Kato
was
and also
pretty like
the stuff with Levi. Anytime y'all are like near the ship or like y'all are dealing with like inter-party conflict or like reveals of family, we stay pretty fucking serious because I think
Yeah.
like that's what hits home the most. But like anytime
I
it's
love
like
when we made Lord Arathis trip down the stairs. And he
Yeah.
had, to me, he's like minor, like not minor antagonist, but like minor villain. Like he's not
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
antagonist. But then like Governor Frey is like truly, I like long to like rip him limb from limb.
Yeah.
Do you know
Well,
what I
that
mean?
was what I
I'm
was
not- I don't
gonna
want to do that
say.
to Lord Arathis. But then like even when we see Governor Frey, it's like, what do I want to do? Glue him to a chair. Like,
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is
But
that
he
as
is a
soon as you
serious villain.
revealed Governor Frey in that episode, we were like, "Oh, time to lock it."
Lock in.
Yeah.
We
There
gotta
was-
check in at the locked in.
I
table.
looked at it,
Yeah.
set their house
There
on
was
fire, and it was like,
No fucking around at the table after
yeah.
that.
I said I don't care if I die.
We all
We're killing him.
like looked at the character sheets and were like, "I'm gonna fuck this guy up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even like the memories episode after that, like was pretty.
That was
like,
pretty
not very jokey
yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
consistently.
Listen, if we don't see what's coming up, yeah, we might crack a few fart jokes.
That's
You
fair.
can't blame us. But if we're in the middle of it, we're not gonna get.
Has there been a moment? I'm sorry, I'm like going off script. Has there been a moment?
Oh yeah, this was scripted.
Jared
Yeah.
asked the questions now.
Has there been a moment where I'm just like, what are some of the moments that like I did the opposite to y'all, where like I built it up to be intense and super serious, and then I cut the tension? I'm trying to think of moments that I've done that.
This is horrible, but do you know what I'm thinking of? In A Crown of Candy, when that jelly bean guy runs up to the funeral. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
That is
So,
one
like-
of the greatest moments in Dimension 20
Yes.
ever.
So like, but like that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Like when it's like the DM like has created this tension and the
Yeah.
party is sitting in it hard, and then it's like,
It's like,
oh
ooh,
wait,
wait, we got to reel this back.
it's me. I'm the one who has to remind
Yeah.
them it's candy. Anyway. That's just
That's definitely like
that's the first example that comes to my mind, just because
Yeah.
it's so like kind of
that's definitely a top
striking.
3 moment of like Dimension 20 ever.
yeah. Okay, if you know, you know. But let me think.
Well, kind of going up to the fountain.
That's
And then,
true. Yeah,
and
with Biv.
Bring us
Yeah.
the piano man. We were like, no fucking way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
kind of a somber walk up to the fountain.
Same thing with Bib when Greg was dying.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
we were
like,
saving him.
the like Tommy Bahama.
Yeah.
Goblin
like
piss.
Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goblin piss, because it's like this is like they're gonna die, and it was so like a graphic is kind of a strong word, but like it was so vivid, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I was gonna say, it just reminds me of like Steven Universe is a good example here, that like the first like season of Steven Universe is like the animation is so much simpler, like the storylines are simple, it's about like a little tiny baby, and then like the final like Steven Universe movie is like the detail has been growing, and that's kind of how I think about Gals and Goblins, is that like it's very like not rudimentary, but like simple at the beginning, and then like it just kind of reminds me of like the animation, like how I imagine different scenes from different episodes. It's like I kind of imagine a lot of our episodes now like arcane.
It's becoming more three-dimensional.
I imagine like the first couple episodes as like the first season of Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I consider the vibe that I want like Eldrivale / this campaign to have was like Legend of Zelda. There was one more, and then Adventure Time, which that happens with season 1. It's like mathematical, and like hell yeah, and like you're speaking more of like the detail of animation, which Adventure Time does
detail
that
of
too.
animation, detail of like emotional depth, like the storytelling, like
where you go from fucking mathematical and like farts in silliness to then like how do we send away the god of death from the universe while sacrificing our friends and the loved ones that are of villains who are not really villains, but just products of an evil entity. Like,
damn.
Like it's just, and you're like sobbing, which,
it's kind of how all kids shows.
Oh, I remember the third one. It was Legend of Zelda, Adventure Time, and Dairy Girls.
Yes. Mix those together in a pot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you get.
I love Dairy
Gals and
Girls.
Goblins.
Yeah.
We are very Dairy Girls coded. Because every episode of Dairy Girls is like, that's one of the shows that it's like, that is laugh out loud funny. Like every scene, I'm like, this is so fucking funny.
They get you.
And then
they get you.
The last like 2 minutes, they're gonna punch you in the gut, and then they're gonna like leave you as the song plays over the credits, and you're like, what the fuck?
And they've had you laughing hard enough that you're crying really hard. It's so good.
It's like a group of silly. That's kind of that is very awesome.
Yeah.
Like the silliness, like set against a background of like really serious. Stakes.
And Dairy Girls is one of my. I should probably rewatch it, and I'm not a show rewatcher, and I've rewatched it twice.
Me too.
And it's just the end of the
trying
first.
to come out to you. Go back in.
Go back in.
Don't come out.
There's just the end of that first season, like they just juxtapose a very joyous, interconnected, like personal moment with like very serious world events that it's like this happened to so many real like this was such a reality for so many people that it's like life is so complex of joyful moments while horrible things are happening around you, because that's how we get through life.
It's like humans find the joy and humor in like every situation still, even when horrible things are happening, there's still laughter.
You don't have your headphones on, but that was a horrible noise.
I tried to be light.
It was like to-dong, to-dong.
Yeah.
You just did it. You just did it in the middle of Campbell's emotional moment. So that's what you were asking about.
Sorry.
It just happened.
I cut it.
But yeah, it's kind of like the whole thing of humanity, of like how you keep going is how you connect with the people you're closest to.
If you're listening to this, I promise you will like Dairy Girls. Like if you're this fascinated with Gals and Goblins, I can confidently say so. Go watch it.
Watch it with subtitles. Watch it. With
Yeah, they're very Irish.
Next.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back. I have one final Gals and Goblins question at the end. But we're gonna move on to just generalized favorites of the year. So what's the best thing you've eaten all year?
Whoa. That's such a good question. I should think about like where I've been.
Yeah, I was like, I need to think of like, because when I travel is usually when I eat the best food.
This isn't the best thing I ate, but this is the most fun thing I ate is when we went and got all you can eat sushi. It was just such a fun night. And it was
good.
Bumblebee was outside.
And Bumblebee was there. And
Bumblebee
there was so much
from
sushi.
Transformers.
Playing like movie quotes from the movie.
But it was just
They were
like
Optimus
one
Prime
track.
quote.
No, they were Optimus Prime quotes.
It's like somebody
Autobots.
did research.
It was like you can pay like $32 for all you can eat sushi, and it was like
So good.
they were still in their soft opening, so it was like we weren't really like we would order, and then like it would kind of come out, but kind of not. And then sometimes we'd get
then
things
we
and
get,
we're
like,
like,
random
I don't
shit.
think
Extra
that's.
things we didn't order would come out.
But when you get all you can eat, you're kind of like, and if you're not picky, we're not a very picky group. We're kind of like, whatever, and then we
Whatever
just
comes
eat it.
out, comes
It
out.
was like all you can eat, but it was like kind of like eat it all. Eat whatever comes your way.
Yeah. Yeah, because they usually will charge like any extra food. You're charged $500
Yeah.
per half pound.
I don't remember exactly what I ordered, but we
Crab
went
rangoon.
to
No, not.
well at the all you can eat sushi. I had six orders of crab rangoons. That shit was
It's crazy.
That was
I've been thinking about it.
Worth $30.
No, but we went to another sushi place, Neighborhood Sushi
Yeah.
in Austin on Congress is so good. I don't even remember what I ordered, but like, I don't know. I feel like it really expanded my idea of like what kind of sushi I like.
It's good sushi.
It's so good. It was like, I don't know, if you're a real sushi lover, like when you put like a nigiri in your mouth and it's just like buttery.
Yeah, like a high quality.
and
Like
it
you don't need soy sauce.
melts. Yeah, you don't need soy sauce. You don't need wasabi. It just like the fish is melting in your mouth. It
You have
was
to
like
save up for a month if you want to go to neighborhood
the
sushi.
most
Yeah.
expensive meal of
But
my entire
It's
year.
really good.
But it was so worth it. It was so good.
And they had like, I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but like I do like vegan and vegetarian options. And so they have a whole like vegetarian nigiri section. And like our waitress, because we're usually like, what do you recommend? And the waitress was like, I know this sounds weird, but like it was like the sweet corn nigiri is like.
Yeah.
And I was
Some
so
of the best.
suspicious, and it was really good.
And I ordered, and it was a little bit cheaper, right? It's not raw fish, so like not as cheap as it should have been. But yeah, that neighborhood has to be up there. I feel like there's one that I'm forgetting.
Definitely.
Jared, what's yours?
oh, fuck. I
Because maybe what you'll say will remind me what
gotta
mine
say,
is.
on my shifts, whenever I was working at Target, which I don't work there anymore, gotta say the thing that saved me was the Kelsey cereal, which is
Travis Kelsey.
and
Jason.
Jason. They have
Pardon me.
they have a cereal, but it's not like a new cereal. It's all it is. It is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese's Puffs, and I think Cocoa Puffs. No, Lucky Charms. So it's
Chex Mix of cereal.
yes, it's Reese's Puffs, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Lucky Charms.
Chex Mix
just
cereal.
all in a box. And
All right.
I would be hungry a lot because I would work my booty off at Target selling electronics. And then I would go in the break room, and sometimes they would have cereal, sometimes they wouldn't. And sometimes I would have forgotten my lunch and I wouldn't want to pay money. So I would just get a bowl of cereal. And
Kelsey Puffs.
Kelsey Bowl.
Kelsey Bro cereal.
Okay.
No, it's called the Kelsey Bowl because they played each other in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. No, I
Which is called the
get it.
Kelsey Bowl.
okay.
So then they got the Kelsey Bowl.
I have a question.
What's up?
Was Ho-Ho salad this year?
Yes.
Ho-Ho salad. Shout out Ho-Ho salad.
was this year.
And for any of you confused, because we did have some people being like, what's Ho-Ho
We
salad?
said it in like a study break. I was like, y'all have Ho-Ho salad.
I think we've said it a few times. People were like, I have to know because you never explained it. If you know what like a Hostess like ding dong or cupcake, I can't remember. One's called a ding dong. That's one brand,
Not
and then
called the Ho-Ho?
no,
Why? Okay.
you made that up.
Why is
No,
it called
there is a
why is it
ho-ho
called
dessert.
Ho-Ho salad?
But it's not. You started calling it that.
But the dish was based off of a ding dong.
Ding dong, or it's also called, I think Hostess is a cupcake, and then another brand is ding dong, but they're the same thing.
and I coined Ho-Ho salad.
Yeah, you were like, what the? You were like,
Genius.
where's Ho-Ho salad?
Yeah,
so we
you
started
called it-
calling it that.
Oh my god.
But it's just, it's just like a layered cake with marshmallow cream and then a ganache on top. It's pretty good. I need to make that
It's a
again.
big ding dong.
Um,
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
you come to the sleepover and you start talking about ding dongs.
yeah.
Dong.
But
I
the
love
other
you,
one
ding
is
dong.
so I get this when Jared's not home for the night. This is what I get.
What do you get?
And if I've had a long day or like I'm cleaning the house and I want a treat, I DoorDash from this fancy pho place called Elizabeth Street Cafe. And I get their like triple like beef pho with, oh no, I've changed. I get their pork belly pho and it has and then I get these crispy chicken spring rolls. and it has all the herbs and sambal and sauce, and it's a huge portion, and that's my favorite thing to get. I've gotten it 3 times this year.
What a sneaky little spicy
awesome.
little secret.
Well, Jared doesn't. Well, Jared used to not like pho. Now he's claiming he still likes it. But if I was ever like,
In a while.
if I ever was like, let's go get pho, you would be like, let's go get ramen.
That's very true. I would much rather have ramen.
Exactly. So I know if I suggest pho, you're gonna ask for ramen. So I get it when I know nobody can ask for ramen because nobody else is here.
Nobody
Is
else.
this the same episode that we talked about sourdough starter on?
Yeah,
First of all, that was a long time ago. But second of all, I went to
55 minutes ago.
I went to another really fancy restaurant besides Neighborhood Sushi because Colt and I went to Hestia for our anniversary.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
chesty.
And it was like fancy. One of those places where they're, what'd you say?
Keep going.
It's one of those places where they're like really, like I felt like I was on the Bear a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're really doing it. And it's like, okay, I like it. I love it. It's
I want some more of
food
it.
is like my guilty pleasure. But like they were really like going crazy. And it was good. But the dessert, they were like, this is our signature dessert. It's so good. And I just want to say, like, I am not picky at all. I'll pretty much eat anything, try anything. Like, I'm an adventurous eater. I'll like enjoy whatever. They were like, you've got to try our homemade ice cream. It's made with sourdough starter. And so, and I was like, okay. And I really tried to love it. And it was so bad. It was god awful. And I looked up reviews after, and it was people being like, this is the best thing I've ever had. I loved it. But it wasn't. It was bad, okay? It was ice cream and sourdoughs. It was ice cream and on a sourdough starter.
Listen, I am
Discharge.
It's sourdough discharge, and I'm a big. I make
the
my
sourdough
own.
was good. Like the opening of the meal was the sourdough, and it was amazing. It was delicious. It was wood. It was like their whole thing is they cook everything over a real fire. Like that's like their thing, and it was amazing. It was soft on the inside and really crispy on the outside, and it was huge. And it was it was so good. And the ice cream, it was like it was not the way to end it.
Listen, as an avid sourdough baker, I have a large jar of sourdough on my counter right now.
Hey, don't make ice cream out of it.
As somebody, because I make like sourdough, like chocolate chip cook. Like I've used it in a lot of desserts, right? But they're bread based desserts, so it makes sense. And I've tried, like I've eaten the cookie dough when it was not baked. Don't we all? Not good because it has a tang because it's a fermented thing.
But you know what? The presentation was excellent, and the presentation and the taste of everything else was excellent. I still appreciated it. I appreciated the presentation. I mean, it was totally like artistic and all that. So,
But it don't matter if it don't taste good.
If you're the head chef of Hestia and you're listening to this, like,
Thanks for being
thanks
here.
for what you do.
You know what I will say as somebody, I have gone to a lot of fancy restaurants throughout my life because my family loves to go to fancy restaurants. I have never met a fancy restaurant that has like a stellar dessert. Like it's like anytime they bring out the dessert menu, I'm normally like, I'm good unless
It's
there's
bullshit with a side of fuck you.
yeah, unless there's like, unless there's like, I know like this is my only chance for dessert because I'm a big dessert person. Like I'll order the brownie or ice cream.
Yeah.
But if it's like, I know that there's a fucking ice cream shop down the road or whatever, I'm going to be like, I'm good. And then I'm going to say, can we whip into that ice cream shop
Go
real
get
quick?
DPPP sheep. That means Dr. Pepper shake
Oh
from
my
Whataburger.
DPPP.
Fancy restaurants are all obsessed with their...
restaurant hater, you're valid and you're based, but I am a fancy restaurant lover.
I'm not a fancy restaurant hater. I'm a fancy restaurant dessert hater. I love a fancy restaurant, but I think they're missing on the desserts.
I'm a fancy restaurant non-believer.
Oh.
You don't
In
buy
that-
into it all.
In that I'm like, yeah, anybody can fucking, swing their dick
Anyone
around
can
and then like throw some fucking dry ice underneath a meal.
I did. So for my oldest
Put
sibling's
sprouts on it.
graduation, my oldest sibling went to NYU. My oldest sibling was in New York, and so and loves food, and so my mom took us to Iron Chef Morimoto's like really fancy restaurant. Like
fun.
like you're getting like a 15-course meal, all
Dream. I love it. I buy into it.
And listen, there were like when you're getting like a 15-course meal, there's at least like 8 to 10 of those that are going to be like top notch. But there's something about fancy restaurants when you get to a level, they love foaming everything. They love turning everything into a foam.
See, that's the shit I love. Like I want you to get weird with it and small with it, and I love it. Okay,
You would
I
love
love it.
on the
I'm
cruise
not
ships.
afraid to admit
It
it.
kind of pisses me off when it tastes good and I got this much of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like
I
a
got
15
a dime
course
of this.
a 15 course made sense, but when it's like, oh, it's a 5 course and you're getting tiny portions, it's like, okay, you need to give
It's a
us a little bit
5-course
more.
and 3 of them are bullshit with a side of fuck you.
Yeah. My mom likes to go on cruises for her birthday. So there's this Alice in Wonderland restaurant on board
Yeah.
that
That I've been to.
oh yeah, okay.
I went to it. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what it had. You have one guess.
Very gimmicky.
Yes.
But some of the food is really good. There's a few, but here's what you walk in and they have a menu and it's in front of you and you have to
The
paint it.
quotations around they have them in.
Is it like a smell? Is it going to be a smell?
No.
No,
That would be
she's
funny.
about to get to it.
You have to paint the menu with it's like a water activated, so they give you a brush and you paint the water on it and it appears. Yeah. So it's a blank face.
We've talked about it before on this podcast. I feel as though some of these restaurants are similar to being held captive in a theater audience.
Uh-huh.
It is
They
like
have you,
and
they can do whatever they want.
Exactly. And they're like, well, you paid fucking money.
And my
here.
mother
So,
loves it.
your mother is very
So
upset
I'm
by it.
sad.
It's her birthday.
Yeah.
But let
they
me
serve
tell
you
you-
fucking goo in a cup at some point.
And some of them are good. Like the main courses, there was a pork belly and a sea bass and those are good. It's all family style. But there was this one thing that I was like, I'll kill the chef with a gun. Who decided this? I can't do it. They go, ooh, this is our tomato water.
Yes.
Not just tomato juice that they're calling tomato water. They have concocted a clear liquid that tastes like the acidic juice that squirts out of a tomato, which is arguably not the best part of a tomato. It's
Tastes good.
Not even arguably.
in a full test tube.
Yeah.
And they're like, drink it.
I like a slim test tube.
I'm ashamed
That
to
my
admit
chef
this.
was
I would
actually
have
the
been
fuck you guy.
No, I would have been like,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, listen, I was on board
I would've
because
loved it.
I love weird things. I think you would. It tasted fucking disgusting.
I mean, that's what happened with the sourdough. It's I'm so into this. They made it look like a coal. The theming of the restaurant was excellent. And and listen, it was bad. And I have the courage to say it.
and if you don't like fancy restaurants, then
If you're a fancy restaurant hater, I understand. And I hate to bring Brennan up twice in one video. Well, no, I don't. But it's I know that if we're ever going to be friends, I mean, he'll hate that I have this.
you mean Brennan Lee Mulligan? You referred to him as if he was friend of the pod, Brennan.
Is he
You refer
not?
to him as Hayden Daniel Cox level of.
Well, I would never not say Hayden Daniel Cox by his full name.
That's true.
The way we dox Hayden on everything.
I know. I will
You guys
say.
haven't even met him.
I will say a fancy restaurant that I do love is the type where it's ooh, I'm gonna get something fucking good, and then the waiter comes out and they clean off and then they clean off the something good, and then they clean off the crumbs,
The bread scraper?
They clean off the crumbs,
Yeah.
and then they bring that shit to you, and they're like, "Hey man, enjoy," and you're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna fucking dig into this shit." I don't want them. I do not want them. I do not want them to bring out a fucking glass and then they spin it around and then it
That's you.
disappears.
And that's you.
And then it
That's
disappears. And then I gotta put some shit under my tongue and then they come back and they're like, "How was it?" And I can't be like, "It was bullshit with a side of fuck you."
You
Speaking
could.
of which, fuck you.
And my waiter
Yeah.
was actually
Who's the fuck you guy?
Okay, next.
Well, you kind of covered worst food you ate all year. If anybody else has a
Worst food?
The fact that you put worst food on there is crazy.
What?
well, somebody suggested doing favorites
Fave?
and worst, but
Fave
we
and
could just do fave. We've been going for a while. We can move on.
Next.
Fave movie
Fuck you.
Wicked!
of the year.
Part 1.
I have not seen a movie in
Popular.
the past 5 months.
Me
What is this feeling?
and Bob.
Stop it.
Shut the.
That's it. You're off the show. What?
Doom is this year.
Yeah, no,
right?
do part 2.
Doom 2.
Doom.
Two.
Wicked is my favorite, but
Me
Doom
and
was holding
Bach.
a title for a long time.
I need to see Wild Robot.
And Wild Robot.
Yeah.
So, that'll once you see it, that'll probably be.
I have a ranking as I work in entertainment. I work in movies kind of. Here's my ranking of the year. Wicked is number 1. Now, listen, I haven't seen all the indie movies. I think there's probably some really great films in there, but in terms of the biggest commercial that still had heart and great story, great design, everything, Wicked. Boom. Number 1. Number 2, The Wild Robot.
So good.
Best DreamWorks movie I've seen, and I love DreamWorks. Number 3, this one's gonna be crazy. This one might tussle some feathers. Twisters.
I knew you were gonna say
And
Twister.
if anybody wants to come fight me on that, listen, it is fun, it is campy, and it
I get
is
it.
a great example of a script that could have gotten really sexist because that's just what those scripts do, and it didn't. And I think it's a great framework of like, we can make stupid, silly movies, and we don't have to be sexist about it. We can treat everybody like a human and not have to be like,
Yeah, you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, and I haven't seen Twisters, but I think it is in the same pocket, and both have Glenn Powell. But Glenn Powell, I said that his name kind of weird.
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell, and where it is like
Our good
an
friend.
attempt to get back to like blockbuster movies.
Yes.
That sadly do not have any like super specific messaging, but there is a good message
You
behind
think that about
it.
Top Gun Maverick?
No. I mean, like that.
I haven't seen Twisters, so no opinion. But Top Gun Maverick is like, it's military propaganda, and let me
Yes.
tell you, it worked. I mean, like, not like long term, but short term, I was like,
It does.
"Rah!"
Yeah.
No, it does.
Like,
but,
it accomplished its goal.
but
But I'm
as
so
in-
easy to propaganda, so I don't know. How
yeah,
much to say.
but I think in terms of like there was like no like specific enemy where like they don't get as specific on things in a good way,
Right.
but they do make an incredible movie.
Yeah.
And like that moves you and is again very well done. So Twisters being your number 3 is not very surprising. However, I would say above Dune Part 2, a little crazy.
Dune Part 2 is not in my top 5.
Dune Part 2 is
Dune Part 2
Dune Part 2 is in your top 5?
Wow.
Okay, maybe
What
it's
is-
no,
what is
maybe
4 and
it's
5?
5th. 4 is Gladiator 2. Loved it.
I have not seen your top 4.
I like really enjoyed Gladiator 2 while I was in it,
Yeah,
but it's not like
it hasn't
It's not like top
stuck
10.
with
Dune
me.
Part 2 took over my consciousness for like 4 weeks.
but you also like you would. Do you know what I mean?
What?
No, it's just like that makes more sense for you than it would for Olivia.
And that's also fair
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I haven't seen the other.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm
I
not.
still haven't seen Twisters. Like I have to see it.
I'm
Yeah.
not like Dune Part 2. Like I watched it and it was fun, and then like that was like it didn't really take up space in my brain.
It took up.
I feel
It
like
took
we're
a space in
forgetting.
my
I feel like
It
we're
was
forgetting a big
better.
one.
It was better than the first.
Yeah, a billion times.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We're forgetting
What else
something
came
big,
out
but I
this
can't
year?
remember.
Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine. I wouldn't. I mean,
No,
it
not
was
right.
great, but like, yeah, it's not making it.
It was good. It was a success.
It was fun.
It was my Avengers Endgame
Yeah.
because I love X-Men.
I can tell you what my least favorite movie of the year was.
What?
What?
I got stuck in a theater watching Smile 2 by myself in an empty, dark theater all alone. And I think we covered this in the last Gabbin with the Gals that I'm terrified of scary movies. And it traumatized me for a couple weeks. I was convinced I was going to turn around and there was going to be somebody smiling.
And I might have threatened to be me many times. As somebody who
Who could
did,
not walk to her car after a
They
recording
kept
session?
threatening.
I never
Not
did
me,
it.
Not me.
They kept threatening to do
Bang.
the smile while like.
no, one time we colluded.
I would never do this.
So anytime we went outside in the dark
Treat
or
others the
something,
way you
I
wish to be treated.
wouldn't look them in the eyes because I knew it was gonna happen. I was looking at the ground, like making my way to my
I
car.
never would have done it.
And here's the thing.
Because the thing is, I would have had to call my partner to come pick me up. Update about going to a haunted house though.
Yeah.
I tackled not 1, not 2, but 3 haunted houses in one night on Halloween.
And Lily did too.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
And-
both of our first.
And we had a great time.
And
It was our first time.
It was our first time together.
I do want to let you know that these two, we went there as an avid haunted house goer. They didn't believe me when they were like, which one's going to be the least scary? And I said, the mall. The punk goth mall.
That one was pretty scary. Well,
And they said, no, that one's the newest. It's going to be the best. And I was like, no, I think that one's going to be the least scary by just the look on the outside. And so the one that they picked, Ancient Horrors,
it was the scariest.
was the scariest
And that was
and
the
like
first one we did.
and like most enclosed, and like we the owners were helping check people in line. And if you know us, we're shooting the shit. We're talking with you. We're finding out who you are. And then I was like, oh, it's their first time. Like they were hoping this one wouldn't be scary. And then they both like looked at each other and they were like,
Can people were
They like got really quiet and they
they did not answer the question.
Not like being like they weren't being like because there are some men who work in the haunted house industry that are just going to be assholes. They were not trying to be assholes.
They were trying to be nice.
They were trying to figure out how to break it to us. Of like, no, you.
I clung to Olivia pretty hard. I had my eyes closed pretty much through the whole first one. Second one, I got a little bolder. Third one, eyes open. I'm looking at things. I'm getting scared, but like
Second one was crazy though.
We had the 3D glasses.
I took those off because I was gonna vomit.
The second one was crazy. Imagine a theme that starts like in like Dracula's castle and then moves to aliens.
Like aliens took over the castle.
Yeah,
and then
then we were on a spaceship.
The alien leader was like, y'all had to
Yeah,
be there
Predator was there.
But it was, no, do you remember the guy who was sitting in the throne?
Yeah, wasn't he like Predator?
Oh,
No, he was like a little different.
Okay.
Smash.
Oh.
But then in real life, something crazy happened at the mall.
What?
Oh,
There was a beautiful scare actor.
yeah. This masked lesbian was rizzing Lily up. Like
And I was just like,
I wasn't jealous. It's fine.
And this actor kept like getting in Lily's
it
face.
was like so like nose to nose.
They
I
were-
was like,
But here's the thing.
They were trying to scare Lily, but they also like knew what they were doing, and then they followed Lily through the haunted house for a really long time, and like literally like snap back, like backwards cap, like kind of like strap backpack, you know what I mean, and like basketball shorts, like really hot lesbian,
and like dark
following
hair
Lily
and
around.
braids. Like I was like,
I think at one
It
point,
was so hot.
give me a minute.
I think
give me a minute.
it kept going on. I think at one point I went, "Hey, she'll kiss you if you're not
Yeah.
careful." Like I was like,
in her
me
face.
or the actor?
yeah, I know. I told the actor, I was like,
No, let it be known I would
She'll do
never.
it.
No,
ever-
no.
One, I would never touch anyone without their consent.
No, not in a-
especially in a haunted house environment.
not in a non-consensual way. Like I wanted to be like, if you
gonna
asked
get a
her,
crush
like
on
I
you.
wanted to be like,
Well,
if you
it's
asked her for a kiss, she'd do
She
it.
kept getting up nose to nose with you, like
She
in
was.
your face.
And Lily would go, ah, and then like flutter her eyelashes.
I was using a lot of powers of self-control. But no, not really. I mean, like truly, I would never like do anything like that. And especially in like a haunted house when it's like, I'm very conscious of like the actors, like, I am not going to touch anybody who does not want to be touched. Because I've been sort of in that position where it's
we
like,
know that.
don't.
That's not what I'm
know that.
saying.
I know. But anyway, so.
That was a big growth moment, and they agreed that they would
Awesome.
go to another one with me. So
Yeah,
they
and
had a
then-
fun
and then
time.
she's gonna be there.
The drive home was like, okay, when can we do this again? Like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm ready for it.
but I don't know about horror movie. Well, I tried to tell Campbell that what Campbell needed to do since Smile 2 was scaring her is just keep watching horror movies. Then not one can stick in your head if you.
I did. I was really because I walked out when it started to get like a little too intense for me, which was like towards the end of the second act, and I did watch the final scene on TikTok.
You
the other
did?
day. I was
Oh.
so curious. I had to know what happened.
And wasn't it so stupid?
It was really stupid, and it didn't scare me as much as I like imagined it was.
Yeah, my review of Smile 2 is like not scary, really stupid. But then when Campbell was like, I'm sitting down and I'm watching it, I went, oh, actually, like that review was like for people like me, that's gonna horrify you.
Yeah,
I went, that's gonna fuck you up.
Next.
and it did. Next question.
Great. Favorite cultural moment?
Bach. Me and Bach. Me and Bach.
That is not a cultural moment.
Yes. it
That's a
is.
you moment.
No, that's a cultural moment. But by the time this airs, it won't be.
Mm,
Well, wait, when is this going up? Before the end of the year?
Yeah.
It will be. Bach Talk, rise up.
I don't know. I think Bok Talk will rise and fall fast.
What else happened? I kind of like forget cultural moments.
The last 2 years have been Era's tour for me as a Swiftie, which is literally going to end this Sunday. But the other one, I just had it and I lost it.
I think Lisan Al Gaib.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say what you were doing at Ren Fair with Lisan Al Gaib with Hayden Daniel Cox. It's a little not funny anymore. So
The inside joke that y'all were doing with it.
Yeah.
That honestly, if that Ren Fair trip counts as a cultural moment, I would say Hayden Daniel Cox is my answer.
Fair. He does not know. Oh, sorry. Wait, no, that was my cup.
Oh, I thought that was a fart.
No, I thought it was a growl because I thought I kicked a puppy. It was not. It was my
it was your huge fart.
It was my huge fart. It was my huge butt fart.
Guess who's jealous of it?
But no, Hayden Daniel Cox does not listen to the podcast.
What the hell? I thought it was a real one.
No, he doesn't listen.
Well, he's certainly not subscribed to the $5.
If he ever does, he would be like, "Whoa."
Yeah, no, he has been mentioned on this
creeped out
podcast
by
many
me.
times. Yeah.
If he ever listens, he's gonna.
He's gonna think I'm a creep,
Yeah.
Well, I think that's correct.
but not in that way.
No.
No.
Did the Megan the Stallion and Nicki Minaj beef happen this year?
I think so.
At the
don't
beginning
know.
of the year? There's
Was
been a
it?
lot of good rap beef
A lot of good
this year.
beefs. Actually, yeah, the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef is actually my favorite cultural moment.
It's just so
By far.
fun.
That
It's
was
just such a like
crazy.
alive moment for the internet, you know, and
You
pop
never
culture.
know what's gonna happen.
Was the Super Bowl this
So
year?
good.
What do you
Wait.
mean? Oh,
The Super Bowl's every year.
No, like
No,
it happened.
Okay,
When does the Super Bowl happen?
February.
Great. So my favorite
Yeah.
cultural moment that
Yeah.
I have only been shown. I don't know if I'm gonna say what you think. I don't know. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Jared filled me in on this after the fact. But the whole Pop-Tart,
yeah.
the Pop-Tart at the
Wait,
Super
that wasn't
Bowl.
the Super Bowl. That was the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pardon me. But so was that
sacrifice.
was that at 2023 then?
That
'Cause was it a
that
bowl
was-
game?
That was 2023.
Fuck. Well,
We can
Say it
count it
anyways.
though. We can count it though.
We'll just
no,
talk about it.
no,
no, let's fucking talk about it.
No, and in 2025, I'm really excited to see what they're doing with those Pop Tarts.
Well,
They're
I
gonna
would say
sacrifice them.
yeah. Well, so
well, but there's two.
let's-
There's a choice.
No. There's three.
Oh shit! Sorry,
So
three.
let's talk about the fucking Pop-Tart Bowl, y'all. so it's starting last year. So at the end of the college football season, there is bowl season, which is like teams that don't make the playoff playing games, and they're sponsored by whatever company.
Pop Tart in this
And
case.
so in this case, it was the Pop-Tart Bowl, which was the Kansas State Wildcats versus somebody. And so it was advertised the week prior that the winner of the Pop-Tart Bowl would get to eat the mascot after the mascot sacrifices himself. And so during the broadcast, there was like this mascot Pop-Tart who kept dancing around, and they were like, he's so happy to sacrifice himself. He will be eaten.
Were they using the word sacrifice?
Yes. They were like, his life will sadly end, and he will be eaten by the winner. And so in the end, at the game, the Kansas State Wildcats win, and there is a huge event where they wheel on a giant toaster onto the field, and then the Pop-Tart mascot is on top of it, and he holds like a sign that says like thank you for everything, and then he is lowered down into the toaster, and out pops a giant Pop-Tart.
It was the same size.
Same
too.
size, same like eyeballs and shit. And then the team starts like digging in and eating the Pop-Tart. So, okay, actual little thing. Fast.
So can you see why that's my favorite?
Where everyone was like, "Where is he?"
Yeah,
and they were
well,
like,
no,
"We
wait,
can't-"
well, no. So the Kansas State Wildcats later in the year were like, we want to memorize or like make a good memory of that team that won that bowl game. And so they call up Pop-Tart and they're like, hey, we would love to have the mascot come to our campus. We can do like a whole media event and we can, like take pictures with the mascot.
Dead.
And their
You ate him.
response was, he's dead. He can't come.
Come to the phone
He
right
can't
now.
come. He's dead.
Oh,
and they
why?
were like,
He's dead.
and they were like, and then Kansas State replied, and they were like, well, aren't there two to every pack? And they were like, but we can't get into that. And so now we are weeks away from the second Pop-Tart Bowl, where they have announced there are going to be two flavors plus a mystery flavor. And the winners will decide which Pop-Tart will be sacrificed at the end of the game, and then they will consume, which means they have to have made 3 Pop-Tarts that 2 will just not be eaten. And
No, they'll go put them in the other team's
sorry,
locker.
Or something.
Somebody will eat them.
Somebody will eat them.
They'll give it to the
Yeah.
kids that got the on-field experience that day. You know
and
what I mean?
so,
God, I wish I was on the Pop-Tart marketing team.
No, for real.
Fuck.
And so this year they're going to be probably competing to see who gets to be chosen for their sacrifice.
Yeah, they're going to be putting on little performances because
Yeah.
they want to die. So can you see why that's my favorite culture? Listen, I know it's a little like 2023,
I think we
2025,
can
but
stretch it.
Yeah.
But it's lasted, you know, it's had some staying power. So that's why it's my favorite
Well,
culture
I have to
moment.
revise my answer. Is that we all sat in this apartment and watched the Super Bowl. I had my little Go Taylor Swift's
Oh, yeah.
boyfriend
Yeah.
sweater on. I've never given a fuck about football in my entire life.
And
But
it was great.
It was the most exciting night of my life.
It
Yeah.
was so
We were all
fun.
sitting, we were all like so into it.
It was a good
And
game
then-
too.
And then
Stakes have never
Travis,
been
like
higher.
a superhero, like caught the ball at one point and was like muscling his way through a crowd of men. And it was like we were all like on our feet, like, oh my god! And then when they won at the end, it was like the energy was insane. It was such a good night.
And we were all like, show Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time she came on, and then them on the field afterward. And
We were also flipping
So
to the SpongeBob footage,
Yeah. Oh,
which
yeah,
felt
that
really
was
crazy.
The answer was going to be the SpongeBob cast.
No,
That,
but
I thought
it
what you asked
wasn't-
about was the Super
it was
Bowl
like
this year. I
almost
thought
really good, but it wasn't.
they really missed it.
The SpongeBob. It was like almost awesome.
they needed to do like a trial run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a good Super Bowl year because so many people were watching the Super Bowl who hadn't before.
And
Yeah.
folks, that's the power of sports.
That's the power of sport. That's the power of Taylor Swift.
It's a power.
Yeah.
Power of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, hey, let's revise that
Let's back
answer.
that up.
Well, I was also talking about the Pop Star Bowl.
You know how I feel about
Oh,
the
yeah.
power of sports.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Yeah, I often feel
I agree
like
with the power of sports.
I
Yeah.
often feel like sports are ruining my life. So like I agree with the power of sports, but like just in terms of there's been a lot of times that football's really ruined my life. So
Yeah.
just very indirectly, like it's just caused a lot of traffic, or I had to work late because we were showing bowl game. Like
Yeah.
you know, just
Next.
what are you leaving behind in 2024?
Well, I guess vengeance, but that's like easier said than done. You know what I mean?
Why leave it behind?
I knew that Olivia would not support me on this.
yeah.
I love a little vengeance. What's
know.
life without a little bit of vengeance? But hey, if that's what you need, I think I
Maybe
need.
it's about finding that balance.
Yeah, see, I need a balance of vengeance and forgiveness, because if there's no vengeance, then what am I running on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. For some people in my life, I'm too vengeful. But for some people
Is
in
it
my
towards
life,
us?
I'm too no. Like the way some people view me, they think that I'm too vengeful, and then the way some people view
Who?
me, they think I'm too forgiving.
Who thinks you're
I'm not
vengeful?
going to name names on the goblin or whatever.
We'll
this is,
bleep
the
it.
Gabbin with the gals, but you know what I mean. So anyway,
We will not bleep it. We will forget.
We edit it.
Campbell will be
No,
like,
that's-
that looks fine. Post.
That's a good answer.
I'm leaving shitty job in 2023.
Yeah.
Same.
In 2024.
No,
Holy
not
shit.
shitty job. But
Job you.
I'm taking great job.
Taking
in
great job into
2020.
You're
2025.
leaving hourly job.
Yeah, I'm leaving hourly. I'm
There you
taking
go.
salary.
For salary.
Yeah.
I'm leaving I'm leaving in-person job, and I'm taking hybrid job
Hell
Yes.
yeah. Hell yeah.
With no opening shift.
Nice.
with no opening fucking shift. I'm taking restricting
You're
job.
leaving Target behind.
I'm leaving Target behind, and I'm joining the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Government. I'm leaving behind doing too much for things that I think are gonna be. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
Is this about us?
What the fuck?
I'm no.
What the hell?
It's about Peter Pan.
Wait, it's what?
Schmieder man.
It
Schmieder
rhymes
Schman.
with, it rhymes with Schmieder Flan.
Oh,
Basically, I'm leaving behind jobs that I would maybe do as a favor because I like a person, but are below me. That maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it, but
You're leaving behind giving everything you have to something that you don't believe in.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
You're leaving not giving things that aren't going to give back.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not putting all your eggs in something that's going to give no eggs back to you.
I'm not putting all my eggs in
planting-
someone else's basket.
You're not planting
Yes.
in salted soil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not sacrificing your eggs.
Yeah, I'm not sacrificing my eggs for somebody else's basket.
Ooh, I
You're
like
making
that.
your
Write that
own
down. Write that
omelet.
down.
Write that
Put that on
down.
a t-shirt.
Okay,
love that.
So yeah, I'm just gonna be. I have been more selective, but a few things did slip in this past year that felt like, why did I do that? So we're locking it down, aka producing our own shit.
Next.
What did we all said it?
Well,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think I want to take a lot of Drew Offwallow
Oh yeah.
philosophy into 2025.
Well, great, because our next question is, what are you most excited
Yeah.
to bring
Yeah.
into?
I'm leaving behind like self-doubt, making myself
Oh,
small.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
As you should.
I have grown much more confrontational this year. By nature, I'm incredibly non-confrontational. Like I always say,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I was a big puss.
We're leaving behind big puss.
We're leaving behind being a big puss.
Yeah,
I just think
that's great.
Like one of our Gabbin clips that like
I'm a big
got
puss.
a lot of attention online. And yeah, so I want to carry my confrontational, which that's separate from the vengeance, you know. But I want to
Two separate things.
I've grown more confrontational over the last year, and I want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
it strong.
We're leaving behind big puss. And we're taking
What? Why?
We're leaving behind big puss, but we're taking like big pussy. Like
Okay,
you know,
I can deal with that.
like
Empowered pussy.
pussy. Yeah.
who whacked got whacked big pussy.
Big pussy. Who rat got whacked in The Sopranos? Big pussy. I think about that every day. That video, that's like a daily one for me.
A video that doesn't exist because we've looked for it.
Well, in 2025, I'm hitting it hard. I know what you're saying. Didn't you hit it hard this year, Olivia? Yeah. I'm hitting it harder in 2025.
harder.
I'm hitting it harder, but
She's hitting it from the back.
in bet. Hey,
Wait, what was we didn't say your greatest achievement.
What?
that wasn't a question.
Well, say it.
What?
What are you most proud of? Like, what's your biggest, like,
We're going off the rails now.
all right.
What's the question?
We only said fails. We only said whales and fails.
It was what are you taking into 2025? And then I have another question. I have two more questions. Jesus Christ.
I haven't even answered, and Olivia hasn't even finished.
No,
what she's
I
answered.
haven't.
What is it?
It's I don't remember. You just
Spit
ruined
it
my
out.
train of.
Come on, dude.
Oh, I'm hitting it harder, but my
on.
my targets are smaller.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. Where'd you get that from?
You're going from buckshot.
Selective.
From your
You're
brain?
going
That's
from
good.
grape shot to
Harpoon.
harpoon.
Blow dart. What's yours? Go, say it, spit it out.
I am this was my first thought, and I was like, this sounds so lame. But my tummy. I'm bringing my tummy into 2025. No. I'm bringing openness and clarity into
Oh.
2025.
No, I like that. I like that a lot.
And
It's a year of
those are
real
kind of like
So you won't be
good.
befuddled.
I won't be befuddled, and I won't be like protective of myself and like very closed off.
Huh?
And I'm already feeling it like today. Like I do not reach out to people today. Like I do not text friends. But today I like texted some friends. I was like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Just because
Nice.
I'm like happier again in my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It makes a
I
big
just-
difference.
It makes a you're telling me.
Hey,
it makes
I've been at a shitty job before too.
you have. You most definitely have.
It's a year of realizing things.
It's a real
Whoa.
yeah.
What are you most excited for in 2025? And this could be more like like what are you looking forward
Live
to?
show.
Like, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Gals and Goblins live on stage.
March 8th. Get your
March 8th,
tickets.
get your tickets. Also, me live on stage. Separate thing.
Oh, yes.
But hopefully, I will be doing my solo show, the full length version, ticketed run in 2025. But that might also be a 2026 thing. So, you know, can't rush these things.
I'm excited for I feel like in just like less than 2 years technically at this point still of this podcast, we've already had like so many opportunities. Like the fact that like we'll literally have just crossed our 2-year mark, right? And then we're gonna have our live show. I feel like that's kind of crazy in the trajectory of a podcast. And like we didn't do it, you know, we have a lot of things that aligned that helped us get here. But we've already opened up so many opportunities just in terms of like people who want to partner with us or like this mix of like Ren Fair and Dungeons and Dragons content. So I'm really excited to see what a whole nother year leads to when we now have a Patreon that we can pour more time and money and energy into this podcast to make it better for you guys. And that only opens the door up for all those other opportunities that we get to go do and then like bring back to you guys and keep building this community. So I'm excited. Like I know my smaller target is like hitting Gals and Goblins harder because we put a lot of stuff in place this year. Like we launched a Patreon, we have merch now. Like we have so many things that felt like a year at the beginning of this year felt so big and grand and like I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. So now that that's done, it's like now we just keep getting to jump to bigger things.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm most looking forward to. And technically we have our like production company is Gobsmacked. You've probably seen it on the podcast thing, and we might be doing our first like stage production under that in
Yeah.
2025.
I really didn't do like my life was like all kind of always revolving around theater, but I didn't like act or create almost anything last year except for like a 5-minute thing with Lily in the middle of the year,
Honestly,
which was great.
was some of the best theater that Austin saw this year. I'm not kidding.
But I really didn't do any theater last year, like at all. So, but things are like lining up for 2025 that I'm really excited about.
It was
Like,
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
it was 10.
Big
10
difference
minutes.
between 5 and 10 minutes.
It was really more of a dance piece on my part, but it was awesome.
I can't, and I've never seen
and
it.
Olivia still hasn't seen it. It's
We're gonna do it.
yeah, we should do it again. We
eventually.
Should, it's really
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's called Splooge.
It's called
incredible.
Splooge, and it's amazing.
What are you looking forward to?
You know, I was having a hard time thinking because, you know, new job, I keep talking about it, but you know what? And then it hit me. I was like, gonna be living with the Hayden Daniel Cox. Gonna be moving in.
Yes.
The fourth time.
Yes, we are joining an official throuple.
Yeah.
We're adding
Yeah.
a third.
Well, you're not joining. He's joining.
Yeah,
That's
he's
true.
joining.
We're getting a bigger house so we can get a studio. So we had to bring in a third.
Yeah, we needed a third.
And we're going to adopt the dragon heads. This is a tease for the dragon heads, which I don't know if we've mentioned them before.
No.
I went to visit them the other day, and one of the...
Why don't you tell them what they are?
No.
Okay.
You had to live in mystery. Fine, I'll tell you. I can't play hard to get it all. Do you see this?
I don't think it'll be fun for them listening to your story with no context.
They're giant paper mache dragon heads that you can puppeteer. And one of the fins on the blue dragon had been broken.
They're from
the
our
other day.
production of She Kills Monsters that we did our senior year of college.
Yeah, like our last big
which
show.
kind of like was,
It's like the Tiamat. It's like 5 dragon heads, and then they each had a puppeteer who would like move them around.
which is kind of the nexus for Gals and Goblins. So it's very full circle that we're getting to adopt them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they will go in our studio that we're gonna build and decorate.
But we
Yeah,
have to
this is
rescue
gonna
them
look
soon.
different at some
Yeah,
point.
we're getting out of the
Fine.
kitchen of the apartment.
Yeah.
We're
In
upgrading.
case
So-
you didn't know,
So if you were here during the kitchen era,
You're a real one.
you're
Yeah.
a real one. Yeah.
If you were here during the first 2 years, you are such a real one.
All
Yeah.
hey, so the Spotify creator rap came in. All 449 of you that we are number one of what you listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have been here
Insane.
for the kitchen era,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're upgrading to small office era.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. It'll still be in a house.
No
but
promises. Like, no promises.
We're not going the creature hub and moving into an actual office. We're moving. We're going.
We're
OG
just getting a
creature
house
hub.
with a dedicated
Those that
room.
know.
That
But
we
We'll have a
close the door.
dedicated room.
We can
era.
close the
Have a
door.
In our house.
A confined
Our
space where the dogs can't lick our toes.
Maybe I didn't tell you.
no, you're moving in with.
Anyway, we have to get those dragon heads soon because they need to be rescued.
Oh yeah.
They're in a volatile environment.
Well,
I'm so excited to have.
gotta get a house so we can at least
We
set
have to
them
get
somewhere.
some paper mache and paint to repair them.
That's fine. Okay. Final question. What has Gals and Goblins meant or like done for you over the past year?
Should we get deep?
You
No.
can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Stop it. Stop it.
Openness and clarity, Jared.
Get off of
It's
Gabbin if you don't
2024.
want to
It's
be
not
deep.
2025 yet.
Oh, I see. Oh, I forgot to say getting shredded, but I say that every year, so maybe
Yeah.
I shouldn't. Plus, everyone says that every year, so.
I don't know if they say getting shredded.
Every year in January, everyone's like, "This is the year I'm getting shredded."
I feel like you're all deflecting my question.
Oh no! I'm just thinking. I'm putting my thoughts together.
Jared, just wait.
Jared
Jared
left.
left. Campbell's got Taylor Swift.
I got Mastermind open. I beefed it. I beefed it.
Terrible.
Fuck. I'm at 0.
What are we doing?
Third.
We're saying what Gals and
she's
Goblins
singing
has
Lover
meant to
right now.
us.
We're waiting for you to come back.
I'm back.
What it has meant or like done for you in the past,
Done for me.
just to open up how you can take it.
Yeah, I would say consistently, it's been consistency, and it's given me a outlet to be creative, just because, like Campbell was saying, like, I haven't been creative on a stage other than improv since I graduated. Yeah. And so it's been a constant there, and it's made me be creative, if that's, and like, I think 2023, it like let me be creative, and I was like able to be creative. But then in this year, I feel as though it was a little bit harder. So it made me be creative, and it made me like get up and do something and be creative with my time, rather than the year before where I was like, I need to be creative, and like, oh, this lets me do it. This year, I feel as though I was like lagging behind on it. So I was more inspired to create.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. It's been a delicious creative outlet. Like, it's so, I think if I was playing D&D any less, I would just shrivel up and die.
Yeah.
And it's also like today, it like got me like just like out of my house at night.
Yeah.
Like, not that I wasn't out of my house at all during the day, but like, it's like, especially like during the winter months, like my seasonal depression like does not treat me well. And so it's like, it's just like I don't know. It's also like we're like actually best friends, which like not everyone who plays D&D is, or like not everyone who has a business is. And we do all of those things and we're best friends. So it's like, it's fun because it's like most people, like once you reach like 25 and everyone has jobs and you're out of college and your education is kind of like done or on hold, you know, it's like, you don't like see your friends super often. So the fact that we get to see each other like consistently, and it's required, and it's like, we have a company that makes money like based on it, like, it's like incredible. Like, that's so cool. And like, so I'm so glad that we get to, like, it literally gives us like a reason, like a required reason to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it gives me a reason of like, if I don't socialize, I'm so extroverted, then I will shrivel up and become like a sort of husk. But like whenever like I'm like feeling more depressed or more anxious, then it's like, then I like just accidentally isolate myself, even though it's bad.
Yeah.
So it like is like, too bad. You have to go record. Like, you have to go tell this story with your friends. You have to go play this fun game with your friends. You have to go like hang out. And just like, and then of course, once I like get off my couch, then it's the best time ever.
Yeah.
But it's good for me to have like something on my schedule that like gets me up and out and like motivated, because otherwise I will shrivel into a husk, unfortunately.
Same. We spent, not joking, in college every day together. Like weekends, like we would see each other all day in all of our classes because we all had the same major, and then we'd like go to the house and hang out like all
G-spot.
till like
The
3
G-spot.
a.m.
Yeah,
Like I would like either go home, or sometimes I would just spend the night, wake up in your house.
Yeah.
Like
What?
we spent every fucking second together in
didn't know.
college. Yeah.
You were there?
So Gals and Goblins has really become like an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, and this comes back to like a lot of the work that I do, like really the core is like, I really love like community. It's why I've loved improv this year, because I think it's a very community first based like performance. You know, it's like improv is nothing if you don't have those improvisers and there's some sort of community there. But like this show, like I really cherish the community that we've built in the Discord. Like we talk about all of you guys with your handles. Like we'll be like, oh, Bandrew, oh, Wick, or Jambear. Like there's so many different names that we have just picked up and we know, and we'll be like, oh, did you see they put this in here? So even if like we're only heart reacting, like please know that like we are talking about it and like just might not be able to like interact or really want like the community in our Discord. It's truly like when we're making decisions, we are like thinking about you guys and like making sure that like we're doing what's best for you guys. With the Patreon, it's the same of like we put a lot of thought into like what are we releasing? How can we make sure this is special for you guys? But all of that in this show, I think, has like built my confidence even more to have something that we have fully created and like have been, you know, fairly successful and are going to hopefully keep growing it like in just a short amount of time. We've had so much like fun growth and success because of the community that's there and you guys. So it's like been a big confidence booster, and I've changed how I talk about the show. It used to be like, we have a podcast, but now I say like, we have a fairly successful podcast. Like I just say it because it's like, it's true. Like that's the God's honest truth, and we should say it more. But just empowering a lot of like decisions, and like I can go into a room and be confident and like set up meetings, and like, like we can talk to other artists and be like, we can pay you for your work now, or like we can order merch. It's just, there's a lot of like responsibility, yes, but I think a lot of confidence and empowerment that has come along with it. Whereas like when we started, it felt like nerve-wracking, and it felt like,
is anyone going to listen to this?
Yeah, and
are
kind
we
of
wasting all of our time.
Yeah, and if people talked about it, wanted to talk about it, it felt like we really had to like pitch it, and like it was like, I don't know, like maybe this person can do something for us, whereas like
it's like, no, now we have a crit award, we have a successful Patreon, like we have this many views and this many followers, like,
seeing the Spotify Wrapped was so cool,
and it was so cool last year too. Like it was already great last year, and it's already getting better, and it's just like, it feels like we can stand on our own 2 feet, and we don't need to feel like we need to rely on other people in terms of like, if somebody wanted to help us with the podcast, or when people reach out, it's like we're able to kind of take it and be like, great, does that follow our mission? Does our community like that? Like, whereas in the beginning, sometimes it's very tempting to like take everything, or like meet with everyone, or like just, explore every avenue. And now it's like, I feel like we have a better,
like when you have support around you, you can like choose, you can choose to like stay true to like what you want to stay true to.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds so cheesy to be like, it's like all because of y'all, but like it is.
It is.
Like we could be making a honestly, I was going to say we could be making a podcast this good, like, and no one would listen to it. But it's like just hearing y'all's feedback and what y'all get excited about and what you say, I wish this had happened. Like, and like how you like illustrate the characters or make headcanons or even like memes and jokes, like that influences our play and our storytelling all for the better.
Yeah.
So like, so like it sounds cheesy to say like, we couldn't do it without y'all, but like we literally could not. Like we would be sitting in our house,
we'd be talking to ourselves,
like, yapping and talking to ourselves.
It would be wildly different without
y'all are the ones building the community. Like even though we're the ones who like open the Discord server and we're like, here, like join our Discord, join the community, like y'all are like building it, and y'all are like commenting on the episodes and commenting on the Patreon and like following the TikTok and the Instagram, and it's just so cool.
And you guys are getting us like closer to like this thing of like, like we do get to hang out with our friends, and like we would definitely not spend as much time with each other or be as close as we are without any of this, and it inevitably does help the podcast. That's not like we're not intentionally doing all of that of like, this would be better for the podcast. It just happens. But it
really
also
strategic about our friendship around.
I'm only friends with people that I can make money off of. But it is true that like you are getting us like so many steps closer to making this like our actual careers, essentially, to create content, right? It's like right now the Patreon mostly goes right back into funding stuff, buying a nicer camera. That's why we're going to have videos now for Gabbin all the time, because we had to buy a nicer camera. But just anything like that is mostly going back in, or like if we have an emergency, that fund like goes towards us when we need to dip into it, or to fund like exploring other ways that we can bring fun content to you. But like without you guys, and without you guys growing the community, growing the way you do, we wouldn't be able to imagine a future in a few years that we possibly could be doing this like full time. And I think that's super exciting.
Huge difference. And the cool thing about like being as small as like, of course, hopefully we're going to get bigger and bigger. But then like, I feel like when that happens, we're going to look back onto like right now when we were smaller and think like, remember like how big like each thing was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like how big everything
how big
felt.
it felt at the time.
Yeah, it's like the fact that we like bought this like fancy camera that you're watching this recording on right now, like with like pure Patreon money.
Yeah.
It was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
It was so fun getting to go to the store and be like,
it was a very exciting like trip. It was a very exciting day.
And then we gave them the business card, and like, it was fun. So it's like, it's of course like hopefully we're gonna continue to grow and like reach a wider audience, and like that's gonna be awesome. And like y'all help us with that too, like, you know, just by like literally just by interacting. Like if you like something on Instagram, honestly that helps us grow our audience.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool that like Even things that like maybe will seem small in the future or would seem small to a big company are really big for us.
Yeah. It just
And that's
like
just what it's like supporting a small business or having a small business.
like the reality, like how quickly I feel like, especially for us having like recently graduated from college, like the reality of like possibly being full-time creators and like artists doing what we love is like feels so near. You know, it could be 5 years away still, but like in the grand context of life, that is so close. Is like, I'm very grateful for that. And like
to be at this point in our lives and have something that like our lives revolve around like so hard. It's like, I really can't imagine a world where we're not like, where even if we didn't have Gals and Goblins, like we would be doing like theater or making something else. Like there's really no world where we wouldn't be doing something like this. But it's like, if I didn't have this, it would be over. Like, I don't know what I would be doing.
We'd be doing Splooge 5 times. And you know what? Austin would be better for it.
Like, this is so, like, it's become so, like, central to my life.
You know? And we take this so seriously and we care so much about this show and you guys and making sure it's fun for you guys and making sure we're having fun. So like we hope it continues to show through no matter how big we grow or if we stay this size forever, that's fine too. Like I think we truly like love
and that's what we said when we started out. It's like, okay, if this makes no money, like that's fine. Yeah. You know, like if
we love it.
This
we
and
truly
are
doing
the
this
story
because we
that's great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Like it's
And it's a fun bonus that it has grown into something that can be at least self-sustaining right now is really what it is, which is like
just like consistently kind of like leveling up. Like we're just sort of everything we make is just like continuing to improve the quality of what we can give. And kind of just like, oh, we're learning new skills. Like it's just kind of it's just fun. It's just we do it for the love of it, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this as it comes out, you're a real one.
Yeah.
And if you were here since like the first Gabbin, you're a real one. And if you just tuned in and you just subscribed to the Patreon and this is the first video that you came across and you're like, I'm gonna watch that.
The recap.
You're a real one. Like it's just really cool.
Yeah.
I'll give you all my thoughts on Jamie with Jared Part 2. So tune into that.
Okay, little plug.
But that's for if you're in the Patreon.
Yeah.
Not to spoil it, but that's your little Christmas present is your Jamming with Jared Part 2.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. It's Jamming with Jared.
What?
Huh?
Nothing.
Jamming with Jared jacking off.
Whoa.
Jamming with Jared jacking off Part 2.
Anyway.
What should I wear? We'll put it in the Discord. What should I wear?
Oh, are you going to video this one?
Wait, what?
Are you going to video this one?
No.
Well, in the Discord, somebody did just say that their favorite like podcast host had just admitted that it's coming to an end and that he had actually recorded 2 different episodes naked because I guess it was possibly just him.
I was inspired by that.
So I guess you could do it.
Jamming with Jared
naked.
Nude. Jamming with Jared in the Baymax costume.
No.
Jamming with Jared upside down.
No, these are all horrible options. Anyway, I hope you all
got up and left.
He got up and turned around.
He's on dog duty. I hope you all
said duty.
That's it. Hey, actually, so this is the last Gals and Goblins episode. So we are thankful for you, but
Olivia
this will
just
be
lost
it.
all the love that we were talking about.
We hope
shrunk 3 sizes.
We hope. Hey, even if it was a really shitty year, even if it was a great year, you should still reflect. And you should always have something that you are thankful or grateful or that you grew from, and that you should always have something you hate. That's what I always say.
Something that you can really fucking hate.
Yeah, something you can really sink your teeth into and fucking hate. And then as you move into 2025, hope you have a great new year. And if you get really stressed out about the whole new year, new goals kind of thing, don't worry about it.
It's a human construct. A year is just a month.
Just let it happen and move in and keep living your life a day at a time. Don't worry about it. But if you really like the whole new year thing, get into it.
Power to you.
We love you.
And with that, we're doing our new sign off for 2025.
Yeah.
Is
that we talked about totally.
That we planned. That I told y'all. Fucking told y'all about this.
Oh yeah.
It starts with y'all. Yeah.
And we go.
Oh wow.
And then Jared goes.
Do it. You have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever here. Oh.
What was the funniest thing ever?
Me and Bach.
If I was behind the board right now, I would have turned it off.
See you in 2025, I guess.